Welcome to the Mismatch. I'm Chris Vernon, and joining me as he does every week from TheRinger.com is Dave Jacoby. Jacoby!
Verno, we got basketball.
Not only have we gotten basketball, we have gotten way more than we bargained for. This first week and the first couple of games of the season have been absolutely incredible. And while Adam Silver is probably not able to enjoy the fruits of his labor with the new TV deal and us having Oklahoma City go to 2 double overtime games, we have an epic Nuggets-Warriors game that went last night. We've had rookies show out. We've had all kinds of highlights. And honestly, the level of basketball has been insanely high. He's probably not having the day he should have. The league is probably not having the day it should have because of other headlines. But let's start with the basketball. Jacoby, I have been absolutely blown away in between Oklahoma City, Houston on that first night, in between the 2 games that were back-to-back last night. It is shocking to me how good these teams have been, how good these teams have looked, and how great the performances have been right off the bat. Like, usually there is kind of like okay, let's kind of start the season, and then people will start to hit their stride. But there have been a lot of high-level games and performances right off the bat so far in the first couple of days of the season.
Yeah, especially those. So we've had 3 games so far, and there was 2 nights where we had 2 games of sort of like national spotlight, sort of like playoff style. The monoculture, we're all watching these 2 games. Then on Wednesday night, we had the 12-game slate, which I wasn't ready for. Just with my remote control skills and my second screen.
Yeah.
It was a lot for me to take in. But luckily the Knicks were a part of it, so I just kind of focused on that for the first half. But I'd say in those 2 doubleheader like national spotlight spots, we had some really good basketball. There were some performances in some games on that Wednesday slate that maybe weren't exactly worth putting on a pedestal and remembering forever, but the Thunder have been through it in 48 hours. I mean, between travel and 2 double overtime games and just the high intensity with which people come at the champions, because the cliche in sports is when you are the defending champion, every team gives you their best look. And it is a cliche, but sometimes cliches are cliches for a reason. You saw it with the way that the Pacers attacked them and the Rockets attacked them with something to prove. They wanted to make a statement win. Now, neither of those teams did it, but I would say in losses, they both made statements.
It also speaks to how truly unbelievable Oklahoma City is, because we watched them on opening night, and then you watch them again, and you're like, where's Caruso? Where's Kason Wallace? Where's all? And it's like, no. The next time you watch them, it's AJ Mitchell, it's Andrew Wiggins hitting a big corner 3. It's like, okay, this is embarrassing. How many awesome players do you have?
Seriously. Like, they were missing Caruso, Joe, Sorber, Topic, Wallace, J-Dub, right?
Right.
And Kendrick Williams. Like, all of those guys, except for Topic, obviously, like, played in the playoffs. Like, they're all contributors. And AJ Mitchell, he's worth celebrating because,
holy mackerel,
man, like the first game against the Rockets, he had 16 on 6 for 12 shooting, 3 for 6 from 3, and he played 14 minutes and 32 seconds, right? And I think Mark Daigneault was like, listen, if we're not going to have Caruso, and we're not going to have Joe, and we're going to have Kason Wallace, this AJ Mitchell kid has earned it. He played twice as much, more than twice as much last night. He looked great.
I mentioned him last year because before he got injured and missed an extended amount of time last year, there was a span of time where he was playing over Caruso, right? Like the Caruso minutes, like AJ Mitchell was getting him, and like you see it. You're like, good grief, did they nail this? Because this kid, I mean, he looks like a special player when you're watching him out there, and he's going up against, big, long defenders, and he does not look like a guy that has just come into the league. He looks and conducts himself like a veteran basketball player when he's out there, right? Like, I'm looking for the drive. Now I'm going to stop up. Now I'm going to kick it to somebody else, like making the right play and smooth. And, oh, man, I mean.
It's one of the things about the Thunder that, like, I mean, you ever put pineapple juice in a cocktail? It just tastes like pineapple juice, right? Like, if there's this thing called a pineapple bomb, which is like basically a Long Island iced tea with pineapple. It's just like you could put diesel gasoline in a cocktail and put a drop of pineapple juice and it tastes like pineapple juice. Because I think that Gilgeous-Alexander's a bit like pineapple juice. Like, you don't see the flaws in the Thunder because he covers up for all of them. But when you don't have J-Dub and SGA is not on the floor, they really sort of lack proactive playmaking, ball handling. I can get by my man. I'm going to cross like Hezzy, go to the, like that sort of true scoring, like ISO scoring. And AJ Mitchell, while he's, this guy's not Kyrie Irving, but he provides a little bit of that in minutes without J-Dub and SGA, which there are few for the Thunder. Now they've got this sort of like Austin Reevesy kind of third option that works. And he's been great.
And then obviously a killer for them to lose Nembhard in the game at the beginning of the game. And then, man, I mean, they showed him on the bench. He looks so depressed. So I hope his shoulder's like okay. I hope the kid's all right. But I mean, he was unable to go. Then they had some foul issues, obviously, by the time you get to overtime. But that was a high level basketball game. I will say, for the people that hate SGA going to the line, this was not the one for you.
I mean, this game. Listen, you say high level. I will say that, like, we all remember the fourth quarter and overtimes, but the first three quarters were a bit of a slog. It was a bit of a slog. Like, it was like the first half, I was kind of like, I was looking at my phone a lot. You know what I mean? I was like, let me see some of these games from last night that I didn't watch. Like, oh yeah, what happened between the Hornets and the Nets? Because that first half was just kind of low scoring, boring basketball.
Yeah, that's fair.
But like, the finish was worth it.
Well, and for all those that predicted the Ben Mathurin breakout, I mean, they had to be sitting like a Cheshire cat, because not only was he awesome, during the course of the broadcast, they asked Rick Carlisle, in the absence of Tyrese Halliburton, I guess this is what they had done before the game when they meet with the coaches or whatever, in the absence of Tyrese Halliburton, who's kind of the guy that's going to have to fill the role, and he said, look out for Mathurin. It's just going to be a function of his usage rate is going to go up dramatically. And obviously for night one, it looks like, oh boy, like Ben Mathurin could be a much different problem for opposing teams than he was on last year's team.
You can see that they can both be the focal point of a functional NBA offense, but they do it so differently. Like, it feels like Halliburton's more like the conductor of the orchestra. Like, all right, we need some cymbals here, strings, now it's your turn, horns, now it's your turn. Where Mathurin is just like, I'm a solo act. You give me the ball, I put it in the basket. I don't care if I got Lou Dort in front of me. I don't care if Chet's coming to help. Like, that was the Thunder defense that Mathurin was just sort of like tearing up.
Well, and I think you obviously got to feel good if you're a Pacers fan, because one of the things you always worry about are, can my two best guys that I have function? Can they both be awesome simultaneously? And at least for night one, against the best team in the league, both Mathurin and Siakam were able to be awesome simultaneously, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like, geez, man, maybe they'll be a little better than some people expected them to be this year. I was pretty impressed. And I think if you're a Pacers fan, you come away from that. It sucks to lose, but you come away from that a little hopeful about what you saw in the absence of Halliburton.
If you're a Rockets fan too, I think both those fan bases are winless on the season. Obviously, one game into it, but you got to feel pretty good about where you stand, because you've gone toe to toe with the champs. And the Thunder didn't play a perfect game either. Like, there's some really weird possessions at the end of regulation. Like, SGA took a terrible three where he was doubled. It was just like, dude, like, what are you doing? Like, Lou Dort's wide open. And it was a really fun watch. And there's a part of me who was watching, because I'm watching the main broadcast, and I'm like, it's like I missed the first half of Nuggets Warriors. Like, I missed the entire first half.
Buddy, that game, you got a guy who is known as a dunker spot guy for the majority of his career in Aaron Gordon, knocking down a career-high 10 threes and scoring 50 in the game. And the Warriors, with Steph Curry scoring 16 straight, big shot after big shot. I mean, you want to talk about high level? If you would have put a playoff graphic on that screen, it was believable. Those teams were absolutely awesome. And that could have, it's one of those where Jokic has that chance at the game winner. That's a shot he makes, 98% of the time, and it kind of rolls off the rim, takes the thing into overtime, and then Curry and Butler hit some monster shots down the stretch of overtime. But my God, what a game. What a game. And also, not only the level, the intensity from the players. I mean, Curry, just the full-on flex to the crowd, like you saw guys pumping it up, and good grief. If you saw, it's one of those where it's like, it's game 2, but if you fast forward and you could imagine just a all-timer if all those guys that we just saw in that game could remain healthy for playoff basketball.
I thought one of my criticisms of the Warriors is, what can they do defensively against someone like Jokic? Because they don't even have like Looney to throw at him. And Quinn Bose, just don't even talk to me about him. So they're basically going to say, like, between Horford and Draymond, we're going to use our sort of institutional knowledge and experience and guile to contain the best player in the league, who happens to be 6 inches taller than literally anyone that we have on the floor. And I thought that they showed at the end of the fourth quarter and in overtime that they kind of like locked up Jokic. Like, let me see. Jokic was like,
I know. And then
he was he was 1 for 5 in overtime.
Well, and I started laughing because then at the end of the game, I was like, man, they did an unbelievable job. You have to give up something. Obviously, in this equation, I think you play for Aaron Gordon to not make 10 threes against you. But on the night he does, the fact that they won a game where Aaron Gordon had 50 and hit 10 threes is absolutely positively unbelievable, because you got to give up something with Jokic. And as we mentioned, like much like you, I'm like, man, they did a pretty good job on him, as good as you can. And then you look at the end and read off his box score. Didn't he still have a
double? But it was a low level triple double.
I know,
it wasn't.
It's so funny.
Yeah, I mean, I thought they did a good job because that's one of my main questions. My main question is, like, when you're playing Zubac, when you're playing Jokic,
right?
Like, when you're playing a true big, what do the Warriors have? And it turns out that just sort of like Draymond Green's IQ and Horford's sort of like, I've been playing players bigger than me for a decade now. It worked. It absolutely worked, especially in those crunch time moments. And the Aaron Gordon thing was just wild. Like,
well, they say many times that the smaller guy in some of those stats that they have put out in the past, some of the times the guys that are not the big lugs are actually the ones that have performed better, more effective on a guy like Jokic than maybe his big lug counterpart.
Oh, one of my favorites is Chris Paul. Whenever like a big gets Chris Paul on a switch and tries to post him up, I'm like, you're cooked. You are not scoring, because the refs will not call it, and Chris Paul will push you 14 feet from the basket. But I thought it was a great game to watch. I thought Aaron Gordon is just like I like players over time. And we've talked about this before. It's sort of like Iguodala was this like high flying dunker in Philly, and then it turns into this sort of like calming defensive veteran shooter in Golden State. And Aaron Gordon was like a dunker, mid-range kind of like ISO player. I'm the main option in Orlando, and it didn't really work. And then he comes here and he plays with Jokic. He becomes this dunker spot. You hit the short roll, Jokic, and then my man will help you, and then I'll be there for the lob. And I'm also a knockdown 3-point shooter. Yesterday, I think the one he missed was like, honestly, like probably his cleanest look. Like, it was
crazy.
Absolutely, it was wild. Everything went in.
The other thing is, we always celebrate like the role players, the guys that do the dirty work, the guys that you feel like there are certain players in the league that you say you could fit him into any team. Like, he would just, how comfortable and normal did it look to see Al Horford with the Warriors? I was stunned. I was like, oh, just like he's just functioning as a Warrior. He was doing all the
He looked normal in the uniform.
Yeah. He looked normal in the uniform. He's knocking down corner threes. He's swinging it back up to the top to Curry. And I'm like, okay, like this, it's just they reminded me of, obviously Curry is still at like a level that very, very few can reach, but they remind you of that like older team that looks like they've been playing together for the last 20 years, and you run up in there. You do this in your men's leagues, right? There's always the group of, 45, 50-year-old guys that they've been in that men's league for 15 years. And they know exactly what they want to do. And it doesn't matter if you're stronger or more athletic or faster or whatever. They just beat you by being smart, and not to take away from their level of athleticism. But outside of Kuminga, this isn't like some kind of athletic freak team. This is just guys that play beautiful basketball and bop the ball around.
I think Pajemski's probably like their second athlete. But like you talk about how Horford sort of like seamlessly fits into this team and you could put him anywhere because his skills sort of travel. I think it's worth mentioning, and again, one game sample size, so whatever, that Cam Johnson didn't seem comfortable. He didn't seem aggressive. He felt like he was picked up on a men's league team that wasn't his. He just wasn't aggressive. He wasn't sort of like looking for his shot. He played 32 minutes, scored 5 points, but only took 8 shots and didn't really seem like he had found his role yet, which is perfectly natural and normal.
Absolutely.
He literally played 32 minutes with these teams in games that matter. But like I think that as good as Aaron Gordon played and Jokic, and you took the Warriors to overtime, I feel like the Cam Johnson is going to find his role and be much more of an impactful player for this team. It's just going to take some time.
A possible practice or shoot around aside, if you had nothing this morning, if Coach Adelman gave them the morning off, how late do you think Christian Brown sleeps? Because that poor guy was running sprints and around screens for 50-something minutes. I was like, this poor guy. It's unbelievable. And then there's like 1 inch of airspace and Curry's pulling it. And it's like, okay, this is so deflating. I have just sprinted around in a circle for 20 seconds, and the guy has gotten 1 millimeter of space, and Andy's shooting it from 45 feet away.
Off balance.
I can't imagine.
Double teamed off balance from 30 feet, and it just goes right in. We all know it's going in, and he doesn't look 37 years old.
Well, they did this thing a couple of years ago. It's still on YouTube. People could find it, where they did the sports science thing, and they're like, how does Steph Curry do this? And so one of the things they're saying, like when you wear they'll put like a heart monitor on you, okay? And they'll say, when your heart rate goes up to this extreme amount, they even did this like during the Ryder Cup, right, with the whoop straps, and they were showing like, here's Justin Thomas's heart rate while he's having to make this match-winning putt. And so they do this, and they say like when your heart rate gets elevated, it makes it a lot harder to perform at a very high level. And so they strapped it to Steph Curry. People can go watch this, bro. His heart rate does not go up, or it goes up, and then by the time he catches the ball, it somehow is back down to like a normal resting heart rate. And I was like, wait, what? It's like he has sprinted, and if now he gets to his spot, and it's like, and you could like watch his heart rate plummet. And they're like, he trains for this. He trains in a way that where if you sprint, you now get fatigued. Your performance lowers. If he sprints, somehow his heart rate stays at a pace in which you are able to perform at a high level. And I'm like, okay, so he's like a real freak of nature. It reminded me of when back in the Olympics, they were like, Michael Phelps actually has feet that have no joints
webs
in them.
Or whatever. Yeah.
Okay,
like,
that's
he's
not
got
fair.
webbed. He's got webbed fingers. You're like,
He's
what?
He's like,
webbed fingers? A merman?
They said he doesn't even have these joints, which makes his feet function actually as flippers. And it's like, okay.
It's like, what? Remember when he used to go into the block and do that warm up thing with his arms, where he would flap them around? And it's like arms aren't supposed to flap around like that. Like
he has no joints.
A fish or a bird? What is this guy? It's like Gumby. It's like a stoned Gumby with 17 gold medals around his neck.
Yeah, you know how you have bones and joints and ligaments? He doesn't have those.
Doesn't have that.
What?
He's made of clay and THC.
Oh my God, so good! But that was so good, and Curry was so great. And
it's those just last night. I mean, those 2 games were just like, we're back. I love watching this stuff.
Okay,
man.
And then the story that did not bring us back. It's like you had this great opening night. You had a super fun Wednesday night with some massive performances that got everybody talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the time we get up on Thursday morning, the news drops that Terry Rozier's been arrested. And we're like, could have seen that coming.
It's been out there.
Yeah, it's been out there. I mean, it wasn't like you were in shock disbelief when you saw that headline. And then Chauncey Billups has been arrested, and that's when me, you, and everybody else were like, whoa, 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 whoa,
What?
whoa, 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 whoa. And one of the things that I said immediately is, man, the NBA better hope that this is like illegal poker games or something and not basketball. And then I watched the press conference, and they made it abundantly clear, here are the people involved in sports. Here are the people involved in this illegal poker game, which allegedly, and when they described it, I mean, I almost fell off my couch. Like the card reading, the contacts that read the cards. Did you ever see Casino Royale with Daniel Craig?
Yes.
James Bond. I was like, this is like something out of Casino Royale.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I'm wearing contacts that can like X-ray see the cards. I'm like, this is so it's just so sophisticated. I can't believe it. And they're like the mafia and all this stuff. And so then I'm like, oh, well, that's probably a sigh of relief, right? If this guy was like, hey, come play with the famous Chauncey Billups in a card game, I get that, and it's horrible, and it's dastardly, and they stole people's money, and it's awful. But what would have been the worst thing is if they say, he's also involved in the whole basketball thing. And there were a lot of people that were saying immediately to me, they're like, you think it just stopped at a card game if he's involved with these people? And I'm like, well, I'll tell you this. If the feds have got that on him, they're going to report that because that is a big one. And then the document comes out about like all the charges, and he is not charged in it on the
Not
sports
named
betting
in it.
But everybody, put it together and said this guy.
It's not hard to put together. They're like, it sounds like
co-conspirator 8.
Boncy Chillups. You know what I mean? It was just like, they're like, this is his social security number. This is what his fingerprint looks like. This is what he played in the NBA. This is where he lives. And he's also been a head coach since this date. Like, co-conspirator number 8 is Chauncey Billups. Like, it's not.
Well, and so I'm kind of dismayed as to why that was not like charged in this too.
It's some legal stuff. Who knows?
Oh, I understood. But to me, and again, these are all allegations. To me, that allegation is by far the worst. By far. Because you have to go through a whole training thing. And if you go to there is not an NBA arena or an NBA locker room that you cannot go into that does not have a massive poster that explains. I mean, they are so vigilant about you can't say you don't know what the rules are. Because I'm telling you, the rules are everywhere. They're everywhere. When you came to my studio, okay, and I work adjacent to an NBA arena, even outside of my studio, if you were to walk into where they have like the soda machines and the snack area, like the what's it called?
Yeah.
Common area.
Yeah.
There's a massive sign right there. Massive sign and it's all about gambling, right? And it's about, and this one of the very first things it says is no tipping, because that's the thing more so than like I'm, a player like doing something dastardly of like what Terry Rozier is accused of. Like that's the thing they worry about the most, which is I am giving you information you would not normally have for you to be able to place a bet on this, right? You are privy to information that the general public and the sports books do not have. And that is what is alleged in these documents. And that is an NBA head coach saying that, right? And to me, that is by far the most damning of all of this. I honestly don't think people don't care about the poker crap.
I disagree. Well, let's take it piece by piece. A couple things. Damon Jones, Chauncey Billups, and Terry Rozier were all sort of named in the basketball side of this. And I think it's important to just make the distinctions between them because Terry Rozier he told his childhood friend Deniro Laster that he planned to remove himself from a game against the Pelicans in the first quarter because of a supposed injury. Laster allegedly sold that information to two bettors for $100,000. And then he left the game after 5 points. And then he paid for Laster to travel to Philadelphia to collect the proceeds. And then they counted the money together. There's like a direct correlation between Rozier having information, leaving a game early, giving it to someone who sold it to bettors, right? That is sort of a roadmap from Terry Rozier's performance to collecting money in a way that's very smoking gunny. Whereas Chauncey Billups, who again, like we'll show later what I said about him earlier in Love and Loathe, but like, I don't know this guy. His number's not on my phone. We don't make plans to hang out, but I've played pickup with him. I've worked around him. I've been around him, and he just doesn't seem like the guy that would do this. And there's a part of me that thinks that there's a game on March 24th, which basically Dame didn't play. Because I looked at the inactives for the Trailblazers on the 22nd and 26th. Dame didn't play. He played the 22nd. He played the 26th. He didn't play the 24th, right? And that's the game they're focused on. And essentially the language they're saying is Dame told people that the Blazers are now going into full tank mode and they're not motivated to win games. So they could use that information to profit from gambling on it. Right?
Chauncey,
not Dame. Yeah, Chauncey. Yeah. I'm sorry. Here's the thing, though, is there's the direct correlation between Rozier's actions and the profit made from gambling is a lot clearer than Chauncey's. Chauncey could have just told a friend that he was frustrated about the franchise's approach to the end of the season, and that friend could have told a friend who profited from it from gambling. Like, there's no sort of smoking gun in Chauncey's case. And yes, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt because I've like been around him a little bit, but he just doesn't seem like that guy. He really, really doesn't.
Stop.
The Damon Jones thing. We'll talk about the poker stuff in a second. We'll talk about that in a second.
Come on, bro.
But the Damon Jones thing. When people that like know the NBA, who's the first person that comes to mind when you hear the name Damon Jones?
LeBron
James. It's like it's like a moderate shot of Michael Jordan. It's like Damon Jones is buddies with LeBron James, and Damon Jones literally texted somebody allegedly, according to the FBI. Where's the quote on this one? It's so nasty.
Place a big bet.
Here's quote: "Get a big bet on Milwaukee tonight," and then goes on, "Bet enough so D Jones can eat too now!" Exclamation point! Exclamation point! Exclamation point! Bet enough so D Jones, a third person, can eat too now. Like that is, I know LeBron's not playing. You now know LeBron's not playing. It's not public yet. So make enough money that we can both profit from this. Like that is smoking gun stuff.
All right. Well, here's what I'll say. I read all of the, there was a statement that was put out by Chauncey Billups' attorney last evening, right? Basically saying Chauncey Billups would not risk his whole, right? Because that's what a lot of people would sit back and go like, what in the world? Why would you risk your whole life over something like this, right? When you've made as much money as he has, right? Like this is a hustler thing. You would understand why a hustling guy would do this. Okay. Yeah. There's no question he played in the poker games, of which there's all these videos that have surfaced of the professional poker players from years ago saying there's a game with Chauncey Billups that was in LA.
That was pretty damning.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that like everybody, it was kind of like a thing that knew, and this is what it feels like. They screwed the wrong guy, right? They screwed the wrong. They took and then a bunch of guys probably got together and said, "No, we're blowing the whistle on this one," right? And that's how it happens, right? When if you cheat people out of a bunch of money and then they are able to rally together, that's how these allegations come about. I read his thing last night, and so it seems as if
the attorney for Billups,
and his stance is going to be, I didn't do this. I will only say this, okay? As someone who had just had a very close friend go through a federal trial a few years ago, I will tell you, you are way better off saying I did it and I'm sorry, and I didn't know, the extent of this, and I apologize. And here's all the money that I got out of this. And because if you go in there and you say, I didn't do this, you don't know what all they've got, right? You don't know what all they've got. If you go in there and say, I wasn't a part of this, I didn't do this, and then they say, and then they prove you were, oh, you're in prison. And he may be in prison anyway. I'm just saying, I hope that Chauncey Billups didn't do what he is accused, right? His lawyer is saying he didn't do what he is accused of. But if you did, and that's your stance, like Damon Jones should just go in there and be like, yeah, that's my text. I'm sorry. Like, you smoke. Dude. They know what you did, bro. Is what I'm saying. They know, or at least they feel like it, right? And the Fed this is not a kid's game. Years ago, the recently retired Bruce Pearl, right? Bruce Pearl was the coach at Tennessee. And Bruce Pearl's tenure at Tennessee ended because of something that was pretty silly on the surface, right? And I liken the way the NCAA functioned is the way like the Fed functions in many ways. Back when the NCAA enforced anything, which they don't enforce anything anymore. Aaron Kraft, the outstanding point guard from Ohio State, was on a recruiting visit at Bruce Pearl's house, and you can't have players at your house. And so they bring Bruce Pearl, and there's a picture of him in the house, in the kitchen, of which no one at Tennessee knew that they had. And so they go in and they say, Bruce Pearl, and then Bruce Pearl says, no. What? I never hosted a party at my house with the recruits. Like, that's what? No. He says, no. And then all of his assistant coaches go in and they say, no. No, we did not have a party, and Aaron Kraft was not at a party at Bruce Pearl's house. Again, this is not a big violation. It's not a big deal, okay? They say, no, we didn't do it. And the NCAA goes, oh, yeah? What's this? And then they hold a picture of Aaron Kraft standing in Bruce Pearl's picture, and now you lied. And now you're all getting show causes. You're all losing your jobs. You're all going to have to start your careers over, and it's like, that's how I liken it to what's happening now. Bro, if you did this crap, you better just say, hey, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I will make this right. I will, here's the money I made off of this, and then just like pray that they have mercy on your soul when a million people write a letter saying this guy's a good guy, including Dave Jacoby.
We'll get to that later. The Chauncey stuff, right, with the poker, and this is like, it could be as innocuous as, I've got a friend named Gary, and he pays me $50,000 to show up at a poker game because people want to play poker against famous people. I don't know. It's rigged. I don't even know who these people are. I get a time, a date, and an address, and I get an appearance fee. It's basically an appearance.
That is what he's going to say.
It's like hosting a party at a nightclub. It's like, yeah, they put my face in the flyer. I show up at a table. I shake hands and kiss babies and take pictures, and then I get some money, and then I go home. That it could be that side. The other side of the spectrum of what he's being accused of, it's really nasty, Verno. Like, imagine gaining the trust of a wealthy individual, building a relationship with that wealthy individual, and then inviting them to have fun at a high-stakes poker game, knowing that it is rigged literally by 4 of the 5 mafia families in New York City. Like, we're talking like the ones from the end of The Godfather and the ones from Goodfellas. Like, those are the same names. Yeah. They're the same names. Bonanno, Gambino, Lucchese, and Genovese. Like, everyone knows these names from these are like the 5 families of New York that still apparently operate. The idea that he would bring a quote unquote friend or associate into one of these games, knowing that it's rigged, and they would lose their shirts, and then to make them pay, they would get extorted and potentially, allegedly, physically assailed.
Threat.
Yeah, no, there's like some punching and assaulting involved as well. Like, if Chauncey is knowingly doing that, That is nasty, nasty work. I could not sleep at night knowing that I did something like that. That is ethically and morally just like, I have very loose ethics and morals, Verno. Very loose ethics and morals. That is way beyond anything that I would even consider just from a karmic standpoint. That is nasty, nasty stuff. Now, I'm not saying he did this. No, that's the spectrum on which the truth may lie. It could be, hey, man, I just like an appearance fee. I show up, I play poker. They tell me they'll stake me. And then I take some pictures and chat while we play poker for a few hours, and I tell them about the time I won the championship against the Lakers.
Well, your best chance is to say, yeah, I played in these poker games because I love to gamble, and they took my money too. Like that would be your best chance, right?
But again, sort of as you mapped out with the Bruce Pearl thing, is like they know enough to bring this to light, which means they feel they have enough to prove it, and they're going to talk to Mr. Billups and make him make statements before he knows what they have.
Right.
And that's where he's going to get tripped up. And again, like I'm not going to sit here and act like I know what happened, but it's what he's being accused of. If he is guilty, that is a very, very sort of like large violation of just human behavior.
Well, and obviously on the NBA side, which is what matters the most, if it is so that he is co-conspirator number 8, which is alleged in the documents, I'm saying if he did what they're saying, what they are alleging in the documents, right? Because again, all of this stuff is allegations until you're proven to have done these things. But if that is so, I understand the way you say, it seems there is a way to talk around this. Hey, this guy was my friend. I was talking to him. I told him we were going to tank, but it wasn't so that they could go gamble on it, right?
Yeah.
Right.
He could be just complaining to his friend. If I call you off the pod and I'm like, I can't believe that, we're tanking now. I'm trying to win games here. The franchise isn't. He's just venting to a friend. Right. Whatever that friend does with the information is sort of like outside of his responsibility, in my opinion.
And he also does not say bet on this, right? Like it is very.
Damon Jones is like, put a bet in for D. Jones so I can eat too.
And the Terry Rozier is, hey, I'm going out early in this game.
I'll fly you to my house so we can count money. Yeah.
Those are a little tough to get past. At least there is a glimmer of hope that Chauncey Billups is not guilty of what he is alleged to have done, but just a nightmare, an absolute nightmare if you're Adam Silver. I mean, this is coming off the heels. Like we went from the Clippers thing to, hey, basketball's back and this is amazing to,
oh yeah,
gee, are you serious? Like, are you really?
Look, we got
a head coach. Thiago Splitter is coaching the.
I know. Thiago Splitter, the Brazilian guy from the Spurs.
Unbelievable.
And also, let's transition to loves and lows because, this is bumming me out already. But the Wemby performance, and we'll get there. But that Wemby thing, that's what we should be talking about.
In the end, all of this stuff is 24 hours. We'll move on.
It'll come back out because there'll be proceedings and there'll be findings and discovery and blah blah blah. But man,
okay, let's get to love and loathes. I'm gonna start with let's just do.
First of all, we have a huge format change. I mean, just huge change here at the Mismatch.
Let me hear it.
We used to do team we loved and loathed, player we loved and loathed, thing we loved and loathed, but that was just too restricting, too much work.
Yep.
So we just do just things we love and loathe.
5 things we loved and loathed from the NBA.
We're going fast because we got to hit 20 things here, Verno.
No. Yeah, you're right. Okay. All right. My first love, the NBA on NBC. I love the nostalgia of it. It felt big time. You were involved in producing television for 20 years, Dave Jacoby.
25.
Explain to me why that felt so big time. Is it the graphics? Is it that it's Mike Tirico? Is it the setup? Is it the lighting? Because it felt to me, as someone who roots for a college team that does not play in a big conference, right? I would watch 2:30 CBS Alabama versus Georgia, and it's Gary Danielson, or it's Brad Nessler and Gary Danielson, and the whole thing, and the music, and the everything. Like, oh shit, this feels big. And then at 6:30, I'd have to tune into ESPN Plus to watch Memphis versus UAB, and it's like some two announcers.
You hear the sneakers squeaking.
Yeah. I'm like, is that Andre Ware on the call?
There's no fans at the baseline.
Yeah, and I'm like, this doesn't and so. I will just say, NBC made everything else feel small time to me. That felt so big, so grand. I thought look, the game was obviously great, but they nailed it, and it felt bigger.
Do you know what it is? And this is just my opinion. It's your age, because you remember the previous iteration of the NBA on NBC. Like that Saturday, I think it was an afternoon game they would always have. And it was like almost always Michael Jordan or Magic Johnson or Larry Bird. Those games felt like the world stopped, and anyone who cared about sports watched one singular basketball game on Saturday afternoon, and it was on NBC, and Marv Albert was the voice that you heard.
Right.
And Marv Albert could be calling that UAB Memphis game, and it would make it feel big. So I think the answer to your question is there's a nostalgia element that if you're over 35, 38, like you kind of remember that music and that tone and that presentation, and you associate it with some of your formative NBA memories. So I think it's really like tickling those nostalgia strings for you.
Gotcha.
But I also feel like Tarico, we've watched so many big events and heard his voice. So we associate his voice with large, important sporting events. He's gotten to that level, whether it's Monday night or Thursday night or whatever, Super Bowls. Like he's done everything.
Sure.
And the Peacock logo, the 3-letter network, the idea that you're old enough to remember when you had like 5 stations. It was like PBS, CBS, NBC, and ABC, and like maybe a local, and that was it. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that for younger people, it's just like sort of a bigger name. Like I think like Amazon is trending towards like more digital, younger analysts, where NBC is going more grander. Like I feel like Amazon is wearing like wide leg jeans and like in a Miri sweatshirt, whereas like NBC is wearing a 3-piece suit with a pocket square and it looks good. They're just going for 2 different things. And I think that the high production value of the presentation plus the nostalgia is what makes it feel so big on NBC.
I thought it was awesome.
I mean, I loved it. I loved it too, except for one part, which we'll talk about later, I'm sure.
Get to your loves.
I'm going to start with this because we already discussed this game. Is one of the things I loved was the relationship that we discussed all fucking summer between Kuminga and the Warriors, right? We discussed how much is he worth? What's going to happen if he takes the qualifying offer? Are they going to play him? Are they just going to play him to feature him so they could then trade him to the Kings for like Malik Monk in a first or whatever? Like all we did all summer was talk about how this match between player and team was broken and does not work and will end shortly. It's just a matter of time and a matter of like how. But then they play the basketball games.
Right.
And Kuminga offers something that they desperately, desperately need, which is energy and athleticism and just someone that can jump off the ground and get a rebound, someone that can sort of like dribble in the lane and sort of make things happen with his talent and body. And it's honestly felt like, I was going to throw it out there, it seems like a good match, Kuminga and the Warriors. Like there's a part of me that's like, is this all behind us now? Like
it might be.
Is it like because he's playing crunch time?
Yep.
And he's like making big plays. He's hitting shots. Like he's hitting threes, dude. Like, I don't know. If you watch those 2 games, you would never feel like this is a marriage that is destined to end. Like it's just a matter of time before they trade Kuminga for pieces and something that works now.
I do think the fact that they made the financial commitment to him and he got his money. He's got money. He's getting paid.
He wanted a player option, though. He didn't get what he wanted.
No. Maybe he didn't get what he wanted, but the fact that he is made whole, he got a contract extension, and they are starting him, right?
Well, Moody's out, which is good.
But a qualifying offer would have been the mess.
Good point. Qualifying offer would have been like, oh, fuck you, fuck you too. That's sort of the thing. Right. You know what I mean? So we're just sitting here staring at each other all year. But here's what Kerr said about him after the game. I like this. Quote, I think he has a better sense of what's needed now compared to past years. Jimmy has really helped him too. Jimmy has talked to him a lot during camp, taken him aside during practices. Remember, Jonathan just turned 23.
Wow.
I don't know. The part where he says
Yep.
he has a better sense of what's needed now compared to past years, that to me says that they might have turned a corner in this relationship. Are we only 2 games into this season that they won and looked and like beat good teams and everything's happy now? Yeah. But I don't know. I kind of like the match between Kuminga and the Warriors, and I thought it would be a story we talked about how it was broken all season long.
Next one, VJ Edgecombe. My God, what an unbelievable debut. That's my second love. Just otherworldly. For number one, for a guy to come out in the first night of your career, I know everybody said the 34 and put his record up against, like, he scored the most as a Philadelphia rookie. He scored the most as a rookie since blah, 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 whatever. I mean, the gumption to walk out on the floor in night one and have 26 shot attempts. Do you know 99.9% of all players ever never take 26 shots? He did it night one. I'm like, yo, this guy goes. So it's VJ Edgecombe with the 34-point night and that backcourt with him and Maxey. It made everybody forget that Joel Embiid literally was not jumping in the game. He wasn't jumping. It was.
He's in my lows. We'll get to him in my lows.
I'm like, buddy, those knees are shot. But Edgecombe, if he can become, like, if that was a glimpse of things to come, and he becomes, I mean, nobody has got. It's going to be hard to find like better stories than him, because he's the one that was crying on draft night talking about growing up and we had a generator in our house. There's a clip going around of him that he used to, the way he played basketball when he was young, they cut the bottom of a milk crate out. This is real. Cut the bottom of a milk crate out and used to put it on the side of the house. And then when they would come home from school, his uncle will have torn it down because he was mad about the ball banging against the house all the time. And VJ Edgecombe's like, we were just trying to get good at basketball, right? I'm like, this is like, you just don't hear this kind of success story often, where it's like, here's a guy who grew up in abject poverty with the generator, like, playing
like in the Bahamas, correct?
Learning how to play basketball with a milk crate, like that's, you know, that they've got a nail to the side of the wall of this house. And now to watch him, and seems like the greatest kid, right, in all of the interviews, and just a wildly special talent for all that, you know, oh, wow. It was decided who was going to be the number 3 pick, and it was going to be Ace Bailey. It wasn't going to be VJ Edgecombe. It sure does look like the Sixers got a special one in this kid.
I mean, God, you couldn't ask for more. And he's also not one of these guys where you're like even the Thompson twins in their rookie year, you're like, amazing athletes.
Yeah.
But he's an amazing athletic basketball player.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, he could score mid-range, at the rim, and shoot threes. He can defend multiple positions. Like, he looks like a very special talent. And we don't have to spend too much time talking about the Sixers. But man, like, if I'm looking at the Sixers, if I'm a consultant that's hired to look at this team, I'd be like, I don't care about Joel Embiid. I don't care about Paul George. Let's look at the 2028-29 season and see if we can build the best team around our backcourt. Because that is going to be the future success of this team. It has nothing to do with that old man who doesn't even run or jump.
Your next love.
So we're going all loves and then all lows. I think that's a bad call. I think it's a terrible decision.
I mean,
I also, you know, one of the things that I loathe is I had a giant piece of lettuce on my tooth for the first 30 minutes of the pod, and you didn't say a word.
Here's the thing. I'm going to be honest with you. This is a moment of honesty.
It looked like I lost a tooth. I was looking at the screen. I was like, did I lose a tooth?
I swear to you, I saw it throughout this podcast.
Didn't say a word.
No, my thought was not, oh no, Jacoby's got something in his teeth. It was, oh God, I have got to clean this screen. I thought it was on my computer screen.
This is ridiculous. I think we have to retake the entire podcast.
I swear.
We have to start over again.
I swear I thought it was on my computer screen. Do you have a filter that takes lettuce out of teeth, Jessie?
We have to start over again.
You lettuce mouth bastard.
And now people, I'm eating salads for breakfast. That's how fat and old I am. I used to eat like bacon, egg, and cheese.
Who
bacon,
eats salad
sausage,
for
egg, and
breakfast?
cheese.
You're
I had a
joke.
salad for breakfast.
Why?
That's how far, because I'm old. I'm trying to be skinny.
But that just makes you feel pathetic. Like, what am
I
doing?
do feel pathetic.
What happened
But
to
I
me?
also feel like I can't trust you. All right, I'm moving on.
Bro, that's what you get for eating a salad for breakfast is freaking salad in your teeth. That's what you get.
Leave me alone.
You know what? I feel
Can
like
I go to my next thing I love? We got to move along.
Eat a bagel like a normal person. Who cares? Give up. Here's up. What I Seriously, love. Nothing's happening. You're never becoming. You're never going to be on the cover of a magazine anyway,
dude.
And
Verno.
You've got 1,000 kids. Like, who cares?
Sometimes I'm halfway through a workout and I'm sweating my ass off and I'm out of breath. I'm just like, what am I doing this for? I'm married. Like, I'm not going to hit the town later and try to find a strange woman to talk to. Like, I'm married. Just legally binded to me. Why am I even in the middle of this workout doing this so hard? It sucks. You know what? I'm going to have pizza tonight.
Do that.
Moving on.
Yep.
Next thing I love. We got to move this faster. I love the youth sports Knicks. Like, you have kids. I have kids. You know the youth sports leagues, they're not that competitive. They're like, everybody gets to play.
Yeah,
we promise your kid is going to play. Like, you go to Little League, it's like you're guaranteed net bat in 2 innings. And that's what the Knicks are now.
There's a rule. When my kids were little, there's a rule that every kid, even the sorriest one that can't even run 5 steps without falling down, he has to play 50% of the game.
Yeah, the Knicks are like that now. The Knicks are like, Jemison, sure. Tyler Kolek, I know you didn't play at all last year.
Right.
Sure, you're in the game. Mike Brown didn't just play 11 players. In the first 13 minutes of the game, he played 11 players.
New era.
It's just like, it's one thing to be like, I'm not like the old coach. You know what I mean? But it's another thing to be like, I'm going to show you I'm not like the old coach. I'm playing Huck Porty. I'm playing Jemison. I'm playing Kolek. I was like, what is happening? It is so different than Tibbs. And he made it very clear that he was going to do that. And I love it. I wasn't even mad at Landry Shamet, and I'm always mad at Landry Shamet. I love the youth sports Knicks. So everyone gets a net bat. Everyone gets to play. Everybody. You got a Knicks uniform on, get in the game. Clyde Frazier's going to get in the game next time.
All right. Next one I love. My beloved Toronto Raptors. I mean, look, I get to celebrate this at least for one night. Yeah. They were my one. They were my one that I said, I got to wedge them in there. Somebody's going to be the surprise. And so I landed on the Raptors because of the talent. Obviously, I love Coach Darko, who was here in Memphis when he started his career in the NBA. He's great. He's unbelievable energy. Also, I love that Toronto is putting up locker room videos. I mean, I'm going to let the people see this. This guy, they give out a friggin' Cobra staff. They give out a big chain that has a spinner on it. And Darko was lit after they mashed Atlanta on night 1. Here's the Toronto locker room. Let's go! Let's go! There we go! Hell yeah!
I got too excited. All right. Cobra, okay? We think that player that changed the game today, that brought energy on defensive end, that did a hell of a job. Ochai.
Yes.
We got a new chain. Look at this. Look at this. This is upgraded version over here. This one goes to RJ tonight. Let's get it. Let's go.
Family. Oh, I'm all in on this, Jacoby.
I mean, that's just a piece of it, too. That's just a piece.
So
like,
good.
It went off.
So good. There is a screenshot of Emmanuel Quickly. Have you seen that? Where it looks like his face is like that terrified face, like, oh my God, this guy's about to hit me. Right? When he like runs up at him at the end, he's like, oh, it's so good. Oh, I love the energy. And again, it's for one night, but My goodness, they look like. I mean, that's the most points that they have scored in the franchise history in a season opener. And then I was watching the walk-off interview. The girl on the sidelines, forgive me, I don't know her name. She says, Brandon, she's interviewing Brandon Ingram. Brandon, 38 points for the Raptors on opening night. That's a franchise season opening record. And she's like, what would you attribute to? And this dude looks right at the camera and he goes, guess that mean B.I. here.
No.
Yes, he did. He said, and do you see who was on the front row with B.I. wearing a B.I. chain? Memphis' own Glorilla.
Yes, I did see that.
Glorilla.
I did see that. Yeah. I mean, if you got Glorilla behind you, like, what can't you accomplish?
I mean, let
Seriously.
him cook. Let him cook.
Let Glorilla cook.
This man said, guess that mean B.I. here.
I mean, I didn't realize that B.I. hasn't played a single game for the Raptors yet.
He got some swag in the Raptors. They got some Raptor swag. I'm down.
Well, now that I live in Toronto, I'm starting to warm up to the Raptors. And I'll say just very briefly before I move on that not every coach is that coach. Like Pat Riley doesn't do that. Larry Bird doesn't do that. Like it's just, and Pop doesn't do that. But he feels authentic. Like just be yourself. If you're the Scream, give everyone a high five and hand out a Cobra staff, then be that guy.
Love it.
He just doesn't feel like he's faking it. He feels like that's really him. And you can feel it and respond to it.
Dude, I love an NBA team giving out a Cobra staff and a chain after their win.
Listen, as someone who's been like on the low level of production for a long part of his life, I'm like, there was a part of my life where I was the guy where the boss looks at me, he's like, I need a staff with a Cobra on top of it. And you have to like figure out how to get that made. That's a good looking ass Cobra staff. That thing looks legit. That costs $2,000.
The chain
good looking off. Those are not like I'm going to go to Party Store and see what they got. I'm not going to Spirit Halloween to get a Cobra staff. Like that is a custom Cobra staff. And when the Raptors win the championship, we'll get one for the mismatch. Moving on to another thing that I loved, even though I don't suggest that we do this format, but I'm in protest, I will continue.
Oh, shut up, lettuce mouth! You don't get to have it. You don't get to have an opinion. You got an opinion on everything.
Let us move on. This one's easy, and we don't have to talk about it too much. I love the Inside the NBA, and I mean, it's the same show. Yeah, it's the same show. It's the same studio. It's the same show. It was a little awkward that first night, Tuesday night. Like they kind of felt a little like, I don't know, just a little uncomfortable, like your first night on vacation or something. But like they kind of warmed up to it. And by Thursday night, they're cruising. It's the same show. It's the same guys. It's the same thing. God bless them. What they do is not particularly polished or highbrow or like deep X's and O's analysis. But God damn it, there's no one else I'd rather spend time with after or during a basketball game and just listen to them chop it up.
I did think the one thing that was funny about it being on ESPN now is when they had to have Shams on, and Charles Barkley's like, so the NBA blew it, yes or no? They investigated this, didn't find anything, they blew it, yes or no? And it's like, oh God.
Shams is just like, I can't say yes or no.
Oh, phooey. This is a disaster.
I like the schedule they put up for Chuck.
Oh yeah,
because there's a known thing amongst folks that work outside of ESPN and inside of ESPN. The ESPN, they like really make you work. They're like, yeah, you got to hit at 7 p.m.
Right.
And the next morning you got to hit at 6 a.m. And then you got one at 2, and then you got one at 4, and then you got one at 8. Whereas other networks are like, yeah, you got be there at 7, you'll be out of there by 9. It's just all
right. Next one I love. I went to a game on Wednesday night, and look, you never know how long all of this is going to last, but I got to watch Ja Morant, the number 2 pick in the 19 draft, and Zion Williamson, the number 1 pick in the 19 draft. I mean, watching them both on the same floor, both looked great. Both were fantastic in the game. Zion Williamson, one of the things that I notice every time I watch him in person, I have never seen a more explosive person from 6 feet away from the basket. The fact that he gets the ball 6 to 8 feet away from the basket and somehow gets to the front of the rim, like it is one power dribble and it is just an absolute force of nature, is something to still behold. Obviously, Morant had 35 points in 28 minutes, but we have longed for the Ja and Zion and LaMelo Ball and some of these great young American talents to just be able to stay on the floor. And there I was on opening night watching them, and I'm like, both of these guys, like, these are both all NBA talents if they can play 65 games. That's it. Yeah. That's not the only thing that holds them back from being at the pedestal that they should be at is health. Can they stay on the floor? Because if they can, they are the talents everybody thought they were. They are. It's not that's not the issue. And trust me when I tell you, I mean, through every bit of length and everything at Zion, and he dribbled the ball off his foot some, missed some at the rim. He is going to have some enormous games this season. Like, just freakish. If you don't have any kind of like length or massive size, and even if you do, he gets to the rim, bro. He gets to the front of the rim. And Jacoby seen it up close and personal. I mean, God, it looks like he's lost 50 pounds.
Seriously?
Oh, my God. Yes. He's lean, man. He looks great. He wears these huge-ass clog-looking shoes, but he looks awesome. Best since Duke, for sure. He looks the best in a uniform he has since Duke.
Did you feel good about the Grizzlies? I thought they made light work of the Pelicans.
I think the Pelicans stink.
Yeah. I mean, I think every NBA roster, you can look at like 5 guys and be like, pretty good.
Yeah.
But objectively, over the course of a season, that team is not making
any their bench whatsoever. Is brutal.
Oh, yeah.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Next thing I loved, this one's simple. It kind of got buried because of like Wembanyama, but Anthony Edwards, man.
Oh, yeah.
Like, down at crunch time, Ant, in that game, like, dude, let me just look at it. 3 minutes and 36 seconds left. They're down 2. He just hits a 3 from the left wing. 1 minute, 14 seconds left. They're down 1. Just puts Jeremy Grant on the floor and hits another 3 to put him up 2. And then they're up 2, and he just finishes the game. We've all seen that, like the 20-foot just inside the arc, left wing pull up. Like, Anthony Edwards he was just an absolute, like, I'm single-handedly going to win this game for us down the stretch. Don't worry, guys. Give me the ball. I'll figure it out. And he did. And it was just like another reminder.
My last love, I'm not going to belabor this because everybody has spent the last 48 hours talking about it. The Wembanyama experience. And I posted this on Twitter where I was like, this is like AI has gone too far. It truly does look like that. Like that 3.5 minute highlight package, you can't believe it's real. Honestly, you can. And I mean, that is one that I wish I could go back even. That was one of those where it's like after one day, after we did our season preview and then we see him in person for the first time, I'm like, oh God. Like, I mean, there's something about like, what is the ceiling for this, even if he's amazing. And then you watch that and you're going, bro, if this is the new normal, Anthony Davis is talking about there should be a height limit. I was like, what are they gonna? They're gonna have to implement new rules. It's unfair. It's unfair.
It felt. I have a daughter named Margot, and she really loves fashion, right? And she starts figuring out her first day of school outfit like early August, right? And that's what it felt like from Wembanyama. It felt like he was like, I'm going to show everybody how much I've changed. I'm so pissed I had this blood clot last year. It just felt like he's been waiting for this moment for like 8 months, and he's been working out all summer, and he just wants to show you how he's changed. And I was very critical of him last year, especially early in the season, about his shot selection. And you know what? Someone got in his ear because this dude is not settling for jumpers the way he used to. He is taking it to the rack, and there's that game.
I think he had 10 dunks.
There's like do you remember like the height of Lob City, like Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, Chris Paul, right? And we've talked about this. That was when Twitter started doing video. They sort of like blew up because you could like watch it on social media. And Blake and DeAndre would have like every 3 games, one moment that quote unquote went viral. I think in that one singular game, Wembanyama did 9 things that were just jaw-dropping. Jaw-dropping possessions.
Like the best highlight you've seen.
Like that, the volleyball spike block that he kept in bounds.
The tween step back three.
But that was after a block.
I got it. But that one I was like,
dude.
And then he's like on the ground doing the let him cook thing.
Yeah, Stirring
and
the
by
pot.
the way, this is Nico Harrison's defense wins championships. I have 1,000 big guys team.
I get this is the big. This is like this is the anti-Wimby. This is the Wimby antidote lineup. This is we've got the antidote for Wimby.
I know.
And Wimby was like, what? That was amazing. All right, moving on to my last one. My last one is pretty simple. It's just like in these huge spots. Again, these aren't huge spots. Everyone's played like 1 or 2 games. But like Will Richard on the Warriors, like whoever this Peter guy is in the Pacers, he's like guarding SGA in crunch time. I'm like, I've never heard of Talon Peter. Like, who is this guy?
Talon Peter was such a deep cut. I mean,
I was like, but it's like the clock, the shot clock is ticking down to 0 in like overtime, and he's standing in front of the MVP. I'm like, who is Talon Peter?
Who are you, bro?
Who are you? And why are you now like guarding the MVP? And like, and I'm like, oh, the Mavs now need Ryan Nembhard.
Oh yeah,
it's just like, oh yeah, we need Ryan Nembhard. Like these like 2nd round picks, these like babies in the league. We talk about this draft class, but we talk about Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper and like, you know, the big guys, Cooper Flagg.
Yep.
But like, these guys are in big spots already, and it's just shocking, and I love it. I love that, like, last year, you didn't know if you're going to get drafted, and now you're, like, trying to stay in front of SGA in a 1-score game with 35 seconds left. Love it.
Let's get to the loathes. I'll make the first one quick. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if Ryan Nembhard ends up starting for the Mavs at some point because it ties into what I was talking about. Which
I didn't see a lot of D'Angelo Russell. Did you see a lot of D'Angelo Russell?
I can't stand the no point guard thing. I'm sorry. I can't stand it. Yeah. I watched it happen with Houston on night 1. And then that's going to work out fine. They can go 5 out, and they're so individually talented that it's going to be fine. But, I mean, when you get down to crunch time and you get to – it's like, we're going one-on-one, and like Şengün was amazing, right? And obviously Durant was amazing. But like, and then I watched the Pelicans. They're running Jordan Poole out there. Then you run the Mavs, and it's like, bro, this isn't what's best for Flagg. This isn't what's best for the.
What are we doing?
Just get somebody in there to run the show. Like I just cannot stand point guard by committee. I just don't. And I don't understand it. And these teams continue to do it, and then they end up playing a point guard at some point. But
I know you're not as a part of the NBA media. We're not allowed to criticize Greg Popovich, but like, remember the Sohan year?
Horrible.
I was like, that guy can't dribble. What do you mean point guard? Like it's like Dennis Rodman. Like, what are we talking about? That's your point guard, and it's just like, oh, Cooper Flagg is to be our point guard. How did he get through the game and not get an assist? Like, how do you not? The way they count assists now, how did that happen?
Well, and honestly, I was talking about the Pelicans, and I was saying they stink, but like, bro, they have talent. Like, they would have been better off playing Alvarado and just having Alvarado set up like Herb Jones and Trey Murphy and Zion. Like, these guys can play. Yeah. Yves Missy can finish a lob, and it's like, bro, if you just had a point guard out there, you got friggin' Jordan Poole out there. Like, and you just did this with a worse version or with maybe a better version in CJ McCollum. Like, just get a friggin' point guard. I tell you this, he is a baby, but that Fears kid is going to be good.
Yep.
Jeremiah Fears, got to see him in person the other night, and I was like, oh, yeah, he's got it. He's a couple years away, but, bro, he's got it. Fears they nailed.
I don't understand how all these teams need point guards, but Colin Sexton ended up on the Hornets. I just don't get it.
Bizarre.
It's like, I mean, would put Colin Sexton in the D'Angelo Russell spot? Like,
just get me in my offense. Unless we're all just going to 5 stand around. And even the Rockets, it's just 5 standing around. It's not like they're moving and shaking, right? No. It's just who's going to get the ball, and they're individually talented. Yeah, I mean, you think about all those possessions down the stretch. It's Şengün going one-on-one. It's Durant, breaking door off and getting there. It's Amen Thompson going to the basket and using the runway and finishing. But, I mean, it's not like some kind of swing move it around.
No, they're
Whereas
not the Warriors out there. Yeah.
Or Oklahoma City for that matter. There was a big difference between those two teams. Oklahoma City, I mean, the ball is in Caruso's hand somehow with 4 seconds left, and they get 2 passes off from it. It's like, damn. You know what I mean? Yeah, the non-point guard thing drives me nuts.
We'll go quickly through this one. Just Joel Embiid. What the fuck was that?
He can't move. He can't move.
So I was like, I wasn't locked in on that game, so I went back and like watched the Joel Embiid parts.
Buddy.
Dude, he's just taking flat-footed jumpers. He faces up against his defender, whether he's behind the arc or around the sort of the foul line elbow, and he just faces his defender, and he's 7'3", so he rises up and shoots and misses and then lumbers back on defense. He did not put on a post move. He didn't do anything. Everything was face up. And then he would just sit there and he'd rise up and miss. Like he had 2 mid post ups that weren't like just long jumpers. One, your guy, Xavier Tillman, just stripped the ball from him. Didn't even get a shot up. And the second one, he took like a Michael Jordan baseline, turnaround towards the baseline over his right shoulder, no chance, and missed. And that was the closest he got to the basket. It was like, you should not play if this is what you're going to look like when you play.
You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of like it's too far. It reminded me of if you like called Zarunas Ilgauskas and said, "Hey man, can you play 20 minutes for me tonight?" And like I'm talking like now. I'm talking now.
Yeah.
Like if you like,
someone tells me he's like 700 pounds now. Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think Big C, he still pops around Cleveland too. It's where it's home. But like if I was just trying to think of a name of somebody that's like kind of like a
Verajao. Yeah, let's keep it Cleveland. Yeah.
Jump shooting big, like I come out there. But like, and he would get up and down the court and he's big, but it's like, what is this? Like you can't even run anymore.
It's thank God they got BJ Edgecombe. Let's go to your next loathe.
Yeah. DeAndre Ayton. I mean, I've made it a thing. People now bring it up to me a lot. They're like, you know, when you said he plays like he's got AirPods in, like now I notice it. And I'm like, I'm telling you, it's the most nonchalant. I mean, and Laker fans' reaction to him, obviously not paying attention to DeAndre Ayton for years.
Yes,
and
the Timberwolves paid him to go away for a reason.
No, the Blazers. And
the Blazers. No, you're right. I'm sorry.
And being like hopeful that like, all right, well, it's probably going to be better than Vando and Jackson Hayes. Like, it's for sure not. Like, this guy, he is so annoying.
And the thing is, the intensity of LeBron and JJ Redick, those are like the two minds and sort of the biggest personalities in the room. They're the yin to his yang. Like he is the opposite of intensity.
Dude, nobody infuriates me more because he for sure, like, if you told me, look, there can be people who be like, ha, told you DeAndre Ayton's going to be good when he has 26 and 17. I know what he's capable of. Everybody does. He could be amazing. He could. That's why he drives me more crazy than maybe anybody. He has been given, I mean, he won the lottery. He is 7 foot. He can fly. He can jump. He doesn't have like a bunch of critical injuries that have held him back. He can knock down 18-footers. He's everything you could possibly want, except for how he plays. And that he's just a doofus.
So do you ever I've been to Hawaii, I've been to the Caribbean, and they've got like a thing called like island time where they're just like, we just move slower. Things aren't important to us, because I'm a New Yorker. If I want a cup of coffee, that should be a 10-second transaction. But if you go to St. John and you ask for a cup of coffee, you're in a 15-minute conversation. And it's just like, none of this is important. It goes very slowly. He plays like he's on island time. He's from the Bahamas. It's he's just like, this isn't important. This is not my priority at the moment. Maybe I'll roll off the screen. Maybe I won't. And the idea that Lakers fans
VJ Edgecombe is saving the Bahamas in this manner.
And Klay Thompson too. Let's be fair. The Bahamas have some guys.
Buddy Hield goes too.
Chavano, and Klay plays great defense. This is individually to Ayton, not a general thing about Bahamian players. It's just he doesn't care, man, and he's going to have stats built for him, ready-made baskets, but it's not going to work. All right, here's the thing. I'm going to take a victory lap here.
Okay.
The thing I loathe, which I knew I was going to loathe, which I 100% won our debate about, was Michael Jordan and insight to excellence. That was absolute trash, absolute fluff, offered me absolutely nothing. I learned nothing about the game. They could have taped that 7 years ago. Hold, before you speak, give me my chance. Here's what we learned on insight to excellence, okay? Number one, he wants to spend more time with his family. That's one of his biggest regrets. Anyone who says that is lying. And last time I checked, his son was doing coke on a boat in the Mediterranean, allegedly, okay? He doesn't want to spend more time with his family. The next thing we learned, he rented an Airbnb for the Ryder Cup.
Yep.
And the guy who owned the Airbnb made him take pictures with his grandkids, which he obviously didn't want to do, and then asked him to shoot a free throw on the basketball court. And he said that he was nervous about the free throw for the Airbnb owner. None of that is true. I'm sure it happened, but none of that is true.
No, there is a video.
No, I've seen the video. I saw the video.
And he said that's the most nervous I've been in years.
Okay. I mean, this is a man who gambles six figures on like putts. I'm sure that he's been in higher pressure situations than the Airbnb owner asking him to shoot a free throw in front of his grandkids. The next thing we learned, after explaining to us that he's okay financially, we fucking know Michael Jordan.
Dude.
Okay, we're all wearing your sneakers. No. He says that he has an obligation to pay it forward. He has an obligation to the youth and to the game of basketball to share his knowledge about the game of basketball to the younger generation. He's not doing this for financial gain. He feels an obligation. It is his duty as Michael Jeffrey Jordan to do this.
Very noble.
Okay. Michael Jordan, you're not a nice person. We know this about you. You don't care about other people. You don't care about paying it forward. You don't. And if you're going to pay it forward and spread your basketball knowledge, well, guess what? In this segment, we learned that you rented an Airbnb, you lying about spending time with your family, and you hit a free throw in someone's backyard. Is that paying it forward? Is that sharing your insights to excellence?
Loved it.
Are you sharing your insights to excellence by telling us about your time at the Ryder Cup? Are you sharing your insights to excellence by saying that you want to hang out with your family? You really miss that? I don't believe any of it. Any of it. I learned nothing from that. Nothing at all.
I cannot wait.
I don't want to see any more. They should cancel it.
I can't wait for the next episode of Insights to Excellence. I want to watch Michael Jordan talk.
Watch this. You know what the next episode's going to be? Him in the same suit, in the same place.
No way.
It's going to be different content from the same interview with Mike Tirico. They did a 2-hour interview, and you're going to be watching it like after the All-Star break in March. It's going to be him in the same suit talking about something else.
Okay. It's the first time out. It's the first segment. I'm going to give you the win on it. I'm going to give you the win that it was lame.
Terrible.
Okay. It was not what I wanted it to be. Okay. So I'm going to give you the win on this. You did call your shot, but I'm hopeful for future episodes.
Put him at the desk. He's got to be at the desk reacting to live basketball and offering insight, not to excellence in the basketball game.
Other thing I loathe, poor Jordy Fernandez, this poor guy, who everybody thinks is like super energetic and a good coach, but my God, I wanted to start crying when I was reading his quotes after their first game against the Hornets. When we faced adversity, we all went separate ways, and I've got to figure out how to keep us together and be better. This is the NBA. Adversity usually happens, and staying together is how you come back in games. That's how you fight back, and we didn't. I'm the first one to be disappointed at myself, and I'm going to try to figure it out. We had a game plan where we had to do things in a certain way, and we lost 5-23 on fast break points. We didn't defend the rim. We couldn't defend the three-point line. So all those things go with knowing your personnel. I know this is the first game. At some point, there's a lot of emotions, but we're just doing things with no purpose, just running around. You run hard, but you got to know exactly what the call is, what your positioning is. And I was like, oh, God. Like, his whole team knows. Like, I mean, this is it's going to be the most impossible team to coach ever. And this poor guy, and I know he's expected to go 5-77, but I mean, this guy seems like such a good guy and a good and probably a good coach, and he has no chance. I mean, it's night one, and I was like, damn, man, I feel bad for this guy. Running around. We're just running around.
Let me zag on this. All of his criticisms of the team's play seem like coaching problems. He's like, we got to know our role. We got to know what the call is. We got to know where we're going. It's like, isn't that like the coach's job?
No, his whole team knows they're not supposed to win, and they all are only looking out for their own stats this year. I mean, it's going to be impossible. You can't coach. When an owner has come out and said, our strategy, you don't think every player on that team knows? You can't coach that team. You can't. It's impossible to coach that team.
Will Hardy and Jordi Fernandez have reputations that exceed their win-loss records like no one I've ever heard of before in my entire life.
That's fair.
Seriously, it's just like so Will Hardy, like coach of the year. Like, really? They're going to win 17 games. Like, hey, man, trust me, he's good.
Will Hardy was really good with the media, and everybody kind of knew him when he was in Boston. And he's always. But I mean, and he also he hadn't done anything that makes you think he's not good.
Here's the next thing I loathe, and I've been picking up on this for 2 years now, and I really want to know what you think about it too. So I really want to know what you think about this, and not too many people like bring this to the light of day. The push off has evolved over time. Like famously, Michael Jordan pushes Russell off, right, and hits the shot. But that is a hand to the back, like an open hand on the defender, pushing them away from you, right? Which was sort of like 1.0. And then it turned into the chicken wing, the sort of extend the chicken wing or the arm bar, the arm bar extension.
Forearm shiver.
Yeah, the forearm shiver and the chicken wing. That was the next thing, but that was a little too obvious. If you extend the forearm, you're going to get an offensive foul call. So then that sort of was 2.0, and that got eradicated by the officials. It's evolved now to what I call the bump and jump. And you'll see this from like wing players. Come to mind, SGA is a master of this, and Luka Doncic is a master of this too. You'll notice it too, not just you, Verno, everyone listening. Look for the bump and jump from like smaller players driving to the rim. It is a shoulder down, create contact with the shoulder, not the elbow or the hand. You bump with the shoulder and then shoot like a little fadeaway.
Yep. And
this thing has completely taken over offense. It's kind of like the Euro step, how like 10 years ago, no one was Euro stepping. Now everything default setting is a Euro step. I call it the bump and jump. Shoulder ducked into defender, bump the defender, and Luka does this. Luka basically just stops and then hits like a little leaning fadeaway. And I've never seen it been called an offensive foul.
All right, you have got to find this. You've got to find this clip, and I'll search before our next show. I saw a guy put together an entire mixtape of Andrew Nembhard from the Pacers pulling the chair on this. Like clip after clip.
Okay.
And what and it's Donovan Mitchell and it's SGA. And what happens is they do exactly what you're saying. And he runs away.
He's not there.
He runs away and they all fall down. It's unbelievable. He is like mastered because they're going in for that contact. And he just runs away. No, he puts his hands up and jumps back. And then they fall down.
It's like,
so good.
What do you do? Even if you're 7 feet tall, if SGA gets into the middle of your sternum, you're going backwards. And then he's going backwards too. It just feels like the refs aren't hip to this yet. And I've named it the bump and jump. Keep an eye on it while you're watching games. I loathe it.
All right. Something that I renamed last year, which then Nick Wright took and put it on his show. I love Nick.
What's that?
The Whirly Bird being penalized for asking for reviews.
Yeah.
All right. That happened a year ago where I brought up you have to be penalized if the Whirly Bird doesn't work. Look, Adam Silver, like we had it happen in night one, first night. And I'm going to stay on this and stay on this and stay on this. There's got to be a review clock. There has to be. There has to be a review clock. A decision is made within a minute's time. Or if you want to make it 90 seconds, I'll give you that. But these 5-minute things in real time, this cannot be so. This can't be so. It ruins the ends of these awesome games. So we're putting a review clock on it. every time. And a decision is being made
buzzer goes
in
off.
that amount of time. End of story.
Buzzer goes off. Your mic goes on. Make a decision. And you know one thing I hate, this happens in football all the time too. When it's clearly off of whatever, Nemhard, right? It's clearly off of Nemhard. They're like, oh, well, they all know it's off of Nemhard, but now they're trying to figure out how much time was left. I'm like, guys, can someone else do that? It's like, what are we doing?
They go back to Secaucus. There's 50 people in the friggin' room.
They're all getting paid.
Including like Monty McCutcheon, a former ref, and you've got a ref that's on the broadcast. Like, come on, guys. How are we all on our couch able to know what's going to happen with this review? Like, you've already showed me the replay. I know what they're going to say.
I need two angles.
Angles. But somehow it takes you 6 minutes? No.
I loathe it.
No.
I loathe it.
We're doing a shot clock. Because the reviews already are driving me crazy.
Yeah. The next thing that I loathe is I call it Ace Bailey. I'm so excited for Ace Bailey. And he had some sort of illness. And the big takeaway was that the Jazz kind of waxed the Clippers. Like, it wasn't even like competitive.
Not even
but
competitive. Ace
Bailey had a dunk in the first quarter and didn't score again. Just like low T performance from Ace Bailey.
Come on.
It was a low T performance.
Fair enough. All right.
Tough.
All right. My last loathe. TV series all dropping at the same time. All right. This is going to sound old. I'm old, right?
No, I'm into this. I'm into this too.
I can't do it. I can't. You have spoiled it before I have a chance. And then I've seen the good clips from it.
On social.
They just did this with Starting Five. Bro, you've got to give me some lag time. I got my daughter's soccer games. I got to pick up my son from school. I got games that I'm working at night. I got games that I'm watching at night. Like, I'll get to it when I've got some downtime. But bro, I can't have seen all the awesome clips before I get to watch it, because now I'm not ever going to do it, because now I'm mad because I've seen everything. So, like, can we get back to releasing one thing at a time and give me a little time to catch up? Because when you drop the whole series, some jobless schmo has clipped up every
the
good
whole
thing
day one in the first 6 hours.
This is like what I'm going to see in episode 5, evidently. I don't have time for it. I can't watch 5 episodes in a row. I can't. I don't have the time to. And so can we just get back to releasing thing one at a time? Because when you drop a whole series at one time, now you have encouraged me. I either have one of two choices. Either watch it all, because I can't stay away from the clips, bro. It's in my algorithm. It's in there. Like,
you're supposed to skip it.
They know I love the NBA, and also it says, like, here's Kevin Durant talking about, saying
the
James
truth
Harden
about what happened in Brooklyn between Durant and Harden. You're not supposed to watch that?
I have to, right?
Of course you do.
And it becomes subject of conversation about, like, this was just in Starting Five. Like, bro, you've got to give me time. Give me time. Release this stuff one episode at a time on these shows, because otherwise I'm going to feel overwhelmed, and then I'm never going to go back and watch it.
Well, let me just say, I agree. So I've been watching Task, which is an HBO show that I love, which The Ringer has been doing a great job covering. Bill and Joanna and Rob do a great show. And also the Watch guys, Andy and Chris, do a great thing. It just ended, but it came out once a week. I had the week to think about it. I would rewatch some episodes. I would listen to the Ringer podcast, breaking it down. It would get me excited for the next episode. That 7-day break was such a freeing thing, because when you drop the Starting Five all at once, it starts to feel like homework, like something I have to slog through, like a 1,000-page book I have to read, where it's just too much. Did I watch it all? Yes, but it was awesome. I love the Starting Five, not because of the big clips that you saw online, the little stuff, like James Harden's girlfriend talking about kissing James Harden through his beard was fascinating to me. I was fascinated. I was like, I've never considered this. She's like, look, you can't even see his lips. I was like, I never thought about kissing James Harden until now. I'm glad that you brought this up. This is why the Starting Five is such a great show. Now I know what it's like to make out with James Harden. Never thought about it before.
What's your last loathe?
I have a final loathe.
Let me hear it.
It's tough. Producer Jessie, you brought this to my attention. As I mentioned, I previously was a colleague of Chauncey Billups. Played basketball with him a couple times. His phone number's not in my phone. And I've always found him to be like a solid, nice guy. And on this very podcast, I was just sort of singing his praises. And, you know, I think part of podcasting is just sort of putting a little sauce and a little flair to your words and maybe exaggerating a little bit. And I might have brought up Chauncey Billups before on this pod, and Jessie might have the clip right here. But Chauncey Billups is just the best. Like, he's just like the most solid, dependable, normal, trustworthy guy. Like, me and my wife were arguing about who, like, should we leave in the will? Should we leave the kids with, like, my brother or her sister? And we were just like, Chauncey Billups. Just leave him with Chauncey Billups. It's like, you can't go wrong.
You loved him.
Innocent until proven guilty.
That's tough.
Innocent until proven guilty.
That's tough. I would leave my kids honest, dependable. I mean, like.
He sold one of my kids to the Genovese crime family. My kids are now selling cigarettes out of a trunk like Henry Hill.
That's tough. That's tough. I mean,
innocent until proven guilty, Chris.
Bro.
Innocent until proven guilty. He's just playing poker with some friends. He didn't know there was a card shuffling machine that told you where the cards were. He didn't have X-ray James Bond glasses on. He's just a guy playing poker. I stand with Chauncey. But I did change my will after this news.
Me and my wife had a discussion.
I cracked myself up. I don't even remember saying that. I don't remember saying
it. All right. Thank you to our executive producer, Jessie Lopez. As always, Jacoby, I'll talk to you next week.